this is Editing Kylan popping in here really quick at the beginning. I filmed this video in June. I'm currently editing it in January. After I filmed this, I ended up having a lot going on. I then moved to school and I entirely forgot about this project. So I'm just now getting to it. And you also might notice I'm editing this on a different software. I learned how to use Adobe Premiere Pro, so this is my first full video edited on Premiere. Super excited about that. I also got a new microphone, so that's new. And stay tuned because I got some new video ideas coming up, but I'm so glad to be back. So glad to be posting again. Hopefully, I will get some new footage, even if I'm in a dorm room now. Trust and believe. See y'all. So, I was out shopping yesterday and I had a thought. My lovely cousin had told me that Walmart had like decent sewing supplies for a relatively decent cost. So, for the first time, using my own personal money, I bought fabric. So, my friend is having a birthday party tonight. What if we try and make her? This is a full disclaimer that I did intend to wear this dress if I got it done in time, but then I forgot that I need to wash the fabrics before I wear them, and I didn't think that through. The last time I used a pattern was when I was maybe 10 and I was making dresses for my American Girl dolls, which I freaking loved. This is gonna be a new thing for me. I am excited to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. First thing I'm gonna do is take a look at the pattern instructions, make sure that I do in fact have everything. I should have everything. I checked when I was at Walmart that I had all of the necessary bits and bobbles. I'm going to read the pattern instructions, figure out what type of yardage it requires to see if I use one of the new cotton ones that I bought or if I go to the stash, and then we'll kind of see from there. I got right into pattern making. I used an old bed sheet that I had in my stash rather than using one of the new fabrics I bought. I got the pattern pinned down, I made all the marks for the darts, and cut the pieces out individually and started to stitch them together. I was having an issue with these darts, and I finally got them done. I stopped filming it because it was just, you couldn't see anything. It was just my head over the fabric, and you couldn't even see me making the darts, but I got them. I got the side seams done, and I'm gonna close up the back. I have my zipper, and I think I'm gonna make this more of a mock-up. I can tell I didn't cut the patterns as well as I would have wanted to, so I'm gonna keep this the full length and sew it on with more of a basting stitch than an actual stitch, just to kind of see if it would fit right so that I know how to pattern it next time. Finish the zipper. It is bad because I didn't try, and you can tell this is where the patterns don't line up. This was just to see how it fit, and I wanted to see if I could get my zipper fit to work. So I took all my measurements, but this is still way too big, even with the darts. I know I don't have sleeves on it, but I'm too lazy to do that. This is really long and way too big. I think I'm gonna have to size down pretty significantly. Take two. I got my new fabric down, I cut out the patterns, and I started on the darts for the second version. It was much easier the second time around now that I kind of knew what I was doing and I had a grasp of how they were supposed to look and how I was going to sew them. Once I had everything pinned and cut, I was able to take it over to my sewing machine. Another part that you don't see is me replacing the interfacing with the regular fabric piece. I did not have interfacing, but you can see it here and you can see the stitches and it all put together. All right, after many days of sewing and seam ripping and sewing again, here we are. I don't have the straps on, they are right here, but so far it's going okay. This is turning out much better than the first version, which I'm glad I did a first version of because I would have been screwed this second time through if I didn't have some of that knowledge. It took me a while to figure out the zipper and how that was supposed to fall, so it took a lot of pinning and basting and then ripping that out and doing it again, but I finally got it and I stitched it in fully. She really needs ironed. I don't have interfacing, so I just used a second layer of this fabric and I zigzag stitched the raw edges and I sewed it in the way that the interfacing should be. This is so that these hems can look nice. I wouldn't have done that if I was going to hem this edge, but there was no way to do that, as I learned on my practice version, without making those curved edges bubble and be weird with my lack of sewing knowledge. I have 3 sets of darts. I have 2 on the back, these 2 curved ones on the front, and these 2 bust ones on the side. So I haven't tried this on in a while, at least since getting the darts in. So I think I'm going to try it on. It looks a little big on my dress form, and this was an issue I had with the first version. I did not do the seam allowances correctly. The seam allowances on the new version are correct, and they take up more fabric. So this one was obviously way bigger than it was supposed to be. I did the zipper incorrectly as well on this one, so that took up less fabric than it should have. This one seems to be smaller, but there is still a very high likelihood that I'm going to have to take it in. The pattern pieces that I have, I used the smallest one according to my measurements, and I couldn't find the set that was one smaller at the store. I didn't know exactly how to repattern this perfectly. I didn't repattern anything between the 2 versions. I'm hoping that the missteps that I made will be fixed, and I'm gonna try it on, see how it fits, how it feels, make sure that everything is in order. The only thing I don't have done yet are the straps, obviously, and the hook and eye that's supposed to attach to the zipper. So I'll try it on, see how it fits, and then get to those little bits. All right, this is the final dress. I got the sleeves fitted, I got the zipper and the side seams done. I'm gonna give a little recap. This project should not have taken as long as it did, but it took a lot of time because I wanted to try something out first before I actually made it, which I don't often do because I never really follow patterns. I'm usually doing it just on site. So I've never made something for myself with a pattern. So I wanted to find something that was easy, that I could work on, that I could learn stuff. The darts turned out pretty well. I think those worked really nicely once I learned how to do them, which was a task in and of itself, but learning how to do those is going to be so helpful in the future, and learning where they fit and how they sit on me is going to be so nice. The zipper was actually made so that this strip of fabric will cover up most of the zipper, which is pretty nice. I did hem this a little off kilter. I did not mean to do that, and I should have checked my pressed edges before I actually hemmed them. That would have been smart of me, but all in all, I think this was a really great project to kind of get some basic sewing skills in, to learn a couple things that I didn't know yet, and to work on using actual patterns. This pattern I think was actually too big for me, and I didn't know the best way to make it smaller without making these curves look strange. So that was something that I'll probably want to figure out in the future, but overall, I really like it. It wasn't meant to be this fantastic project, but it was meant to be something that I had never done before. So with that in mind, I think it turned out pretty well. And I will see you on the next installment in whatever I make. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. Bye!